Words, the global economy's new El Dorado. The new lords of the cyber market, Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, and others, have discovered how to transform words and information into a limitless source of wealth. Text, images, graphics, photos, music, anything that can be digitized is transformed into a commercial product. This is the new information and know-how market made possible through recent developments in digital technology and the new media.
Also tonight, sex, lies, and oil money.
Yet these cyber market giants have created their empires while imposing their own language, which ensures them the command and control of the new communication systems. They dominate the job, knowledge, capital, and technology markets. However, more than half of the world's population is excluded from today's information society, and the digital gap is growing. Although technological infrastructure is slow in developing, the real problem is the linguistic barrier. The compartmentalization of knowledge and information keeps this digital third world from accessing modern media. The incorporation of this digital third world into the global cyber market is the great cyber El Dorado waiting to be explored. Allowing people access to the global economy while preserving their own language and cultural heritage is a way of creating equitable relations among peoples and a means of developing world peace. But powerful tools are needed to meet this challenge. UNL, Universal Networking Language, is a simple, innovative, universal communication system created to break down linguistic barriers using highly advanced information technology. It translates words with respect to the context in which they are used into every language. Hundreds of researchers around the world are working on this project, which will enable every one of us to access knowledge and know-how from diverse sources without transforming or losing his or her cultural identity. UNL has been patented for the United Nations and guarantees free, universal access to the information society's new El Dorado.
Voici une belle image du village global. Tous ces drapeaux représentent les pays qui font partie des Nations Unies. Il y en a 192. Derrière chaque drapeau, il y a le peuple qui font partie de ces pays. Et chaque peuple a ses langues, ses traditions, son savoir, ses valeurs. La question qui se pose ici, à l'intérieur des Nations Unies, c'est de savoir comment est-ce que toutes ces langues différentes, ces traditions, ce peuple représenté par ces drapeaux peuvent se communiquer.
The United Nations was born here in Geneva. 90 years ago, delegates from around the world gathered to create the Society of Nations. The world's governments now meet each year in New York for the General Assembly to discuss multilateral relations in particular and worldwide problems in general.
Often the chances of success are the costs.
Linguistic diversity and the universal right of every individual to his or her mother tongue are also discussed. And they meet here in Geneva throughout the year, seeking solutions to world problems such as health, international commerce, environment, and human rights.
Les nations qui sont derrière le drapeau qu'on a vu à l'entrée se réunissent ici, dans toutes ces salles qu'il y a dans ce bâtiment. Ce sont des salles pour des réunions techniques, des réunions politiques, pour débattre le grand problème du monde d'aujourd'hui. La question qui se pose est quelle langue parle-t-il? Comment arrive-t-il à se comprendre?
The Council meeting room in Geneva was the first to be used in UN history. Delegates from many countries are here today to discuss disarmament. Yet they can only use one of the 6 official UN languages. English, Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, French, or Russian, which were chosen from among the most international. Every meeting and every document must employ these 6 languages.
Officiellement, les 6 langues devaient être utilisées. Même le site des Nations Unies, il est dans les 6 langues. Mais bien de fois, le jour de travail, il n'y a pas d'interprètes ou alors pour des raisons financières, ils réduisent la plupart des travaux, les publications à l'anglais et au français.
The interpreters work from what is said in the 6 languages. 5 of them interpret every speech at the podium and all the statements made during the assembly into the other official languages.
I declare open the 1111th plenary meeting of the Conference of
If a Japanese delegate wants the floor, he or she must speak in one of the 6 languages in order to be understood by the interpreters. It's the same for a German, a Brazilian, a Greek, and for most of the people here. The rule is the same for everyone. One can easily imagine how this system weighs heavy on debate and can create misunderstanding. If the question of multilingual communications is pertinent here, it is even more so worldwide. The problem weighs heavier with some nations.
On comprend bien que la discrimination linguistique, elle devient une discrimination économique, sociale. C'est pour cela qu'on peut dire que la moitié du monde est un peu exclue à cause des barrières linguistiques, exclue dans le monde de la participation du commerce, de la culture, des loisirs, des choses d'un monde qui s'y offre à tout le monde.
More than half of the world's population remains excluded from the information society and the cyber market. Economic and digital underdevelopment go hand in hand. This is the digital gap, digital exclusion. The gap between those who belong to the society of information, economy, and knowledge, as opposed to those who have nothing. Such exclusion touches billions of lives. Numerous factors come into play. Lack of technology, including communications infrastructure, telephones, computers, etc. And linguistic barriers which impede access to information and knowledge. This is notably the case when it comes to information technology, IT, and even more so with search engines.
Vous voyez aujourd'hui le Google ou n'importe quel moteur de recherche des mots, il exploite les mots. Et derrière ce mécanisme, il y a tout un système commercial qui fonctionne.
They claim to be interactive. Almost everything is available in English. It is also possible to access numerous things in French, Spanish, and a few other languages. But the choice is greatly reduced when it comes to German, Hindi, Chinese, Russian, Arabic, or Portuguese. Exchange of information and knowledge is not that easy, and it is even worse for African, Middle Eastern, and Southeast Asian languages. Their information and their knowledge are simply not available, thus depriving humanity access to their cultural heritage. Exclusion increases as technology is more easily accessible to only one segment of the world's population. Such exclusion creates tension and conflict between those who believe in globalization and those who oppose it. It not only shows contempt for their culture, but also hinders solidarity in the struggle against poverty and for the ecological survival of the planet. The first World Summits on the Information Society, co-sponsored by the ITU and UNESCO, address these problems. They particularly address the problem of multilingualism. Internet governance is the issue. Technological infrastructure must be established to guarantee access to information for all. These summits have reinforced mankind's ambition and set forth a global plan of action to open internet to all forms of linguistic expression.
L'UNESCO a reçu des Nations Unies le mandat de promouvoir la diversité linguistique et par la diversité linguistique, préserver la diversité culturelle.
L'UNESCO œuvre pour qu'on puisse diffuser le savoir dans le maximum de langues possibles. Pour l'instant, il y en a 6 langues officielles. Mais dans beaucoup de conférences, il y a des pays qui insistent pour qu'on utilise 7e, 8e langue. Par exemple, le Brésil, actuellement, finance l'utilisation de la langue portugaise dans les conférences internationales.
Every language is a veritable treasure, a pool of wisdom which has slowly evolved over thousands of years. A variety of sounds, alphabets, and ideograms represent diverse systems of knowledge and thought, as well as a myriad of cultures founded on extremely different values. Such diversity reveals the very soul of humankind, and protecting it is as important as safeguarding our biological diversity.
Si on croit à la diversité culturelle, ou la culture avec un grand C, la langue, c'est l'essentiel des façons d'exprimer ces cultures. Donc moi je pense, au lieu de faire cette confrontation entre les deux écoles, moi je pense qu'il y a la place pour tous. Il faut que le maximum des gens puissent se communiquer. Donc il y a 2, 3, 4 langues, maintenant on dit 6, que les gens peuvent apprendre en priorité. Mais je pense qu'il faut encourager l'enseignement en langue nationale.
L'UNESCO estime qu'il y a 6000 langues, mais pas toutes ont la même facilité de traverser ou de naviguer ou d'être utilisées par l'Internet.
The International Telecommunication Union, ITU, was created at the time of Morse, Bell, Marconi. Sometime after the radio, the first means of mass communication was invented. Today, the ITU is part of the UN family. It has been establishing global telecommunications norms and regulations in partnership with the private sector since it was founded.
Le protocole de chaque langue doit être traduit en code qui est lisible par tous. Nous avons aujourd'hui 1,6 milliard de Chinois qui, quand ils tapent, ils ne peuvent pas taper en chinois le 3W Chine ou quelque chose comme ça. Nous avons 1,2 milliard d'Indiens qui ont 16 langues officielles. Nous avons 15 langues officielles en Afrique du Sud. Nous avons le Swahili qui est parlé par 120 millions d'Africains. Toutes ces langues-là et ces cultures n'ont pas l'occasion de contribuer comme il se doit dans cette société de la connaissance dans laquelle nous sommes rentrés.
Information and communication technology has advanced at lightning speed over the past 15 years. However, it is the result of a century of revolutionary technological advances. Radio, cinema, TV, fax, computers, and the expansion of engineering networks, satellites, cell phones, and above all, internet. The expansion of the web has given birth to a new virtual world. We have now begun to speak of the knowledge society. The web was born at CERN in Geneva. Its inventors, Tim Berners-Lee and Robert Caillot, had an ideal.
Cette volonté de démocratiser l'information et démocratiser surtout l'accès à l'information a toujours été là.
It allows anybody to put information up. Soon it will allow even individuals to put information up. In fact, with some content providers you can. So it's provided a level playing field, somewhere where information can be evaluated for its own value.
C'était surtout, disons, l'idée originale de mettre à disposition une bibliothèque automatisée. Et donc, en fait, cette possibilité de construire des réservoirs de connaissances, d'informations, de données, et peut-être au plus long terme un peu de sagesse, je ne sais pas. Donc, c'est ces réservoirs qui restent. C'est une chose qui reste, parce que dans une communication, disons, téléphone, radio, etc., il n'y a rien qui reste après.
Il y a 4 mots très importants sur la définition de cette société de la connaissance dans laquelle nous sommes rentrés. L'accès, ça parle de l'accès à l'information. La création l'accès d'abord, ensuite l'utilisation de l'information. Parce qu'il ne s'agit pas d'accéder à l'information seulement pour briser la fracture numérique, il faut l'utiliser. Et il faut l'utiliser dans sa langue. On peut mieux l'utiliser dans sa langue. Mais en plus de cela, il faut créer de l'information. Parce que quand on a cette opportunité-là, il y a aussi beaucoup de nouvelles informations qui pourront être créées du point de vue du contenu. Et enfin, le partage de l'information. L'information est la seule chose qui, quand elle est partagée, elle devient la connaissance, elle se multiplie. Et ça, c'est puissant.
Numerous attempts have been made throughout history to break through linguistic barriers, from the Tower of Babel to Esperanto. And more recently, automatic translation. Progress has been made, but results remain unsatisfactory.
Ils sont limités de langue à langue. Alors ça, c'est un problème qui se projette après du point de vue économique. Les langues qui ont le pouvoir financier de développer les systèmes, ils ont ce bénéfice. Et les autres langues.
The need for a large-scale universal solution rises from the conjunction of the digital linguistic cultural gap and the inherent potential of new technologies. UNL, the Universal Networking Language System, is a most promising solution for pulling down linguistic barriers. This unique translation system uses highly advanced technology. It places a simple communications tool for working in one's own language within everyone's reach. UNL has developed a veritable computer language using its own vocabulary, grammar, and semantics, capable of simulating every concept of the human mind. UNL is more than simple translation. It accurately replaces every concept within its context. The advantage is that UNL is a pivotal language within communications networks. Whereas one language is normally translated into another, UNL translates from a single language into every interface language within the system. UNL was invented 10 years ago by Hiroshi Uchida and Meiying Chu at the UN University in Tokyo. The patent for this revolutionary invention was registered in the UN's name to ensure unlimited accessibility for all.
En 2000, on a créé ici à Genève la fondation qui a hérité alors le droit et les obligations de développer l'UNL des Nations Unies.
The Geneva-based UNDL Foundation in Switzerland is developing the system with a team of researchers, computer scientists, and linguists creating the network. Numerous teams around the world are working on interface development between UNL and their mother tongue. This linguistic center network is the base of a new universal web. But let us take a closer look at how UNL works. There are 2 steps to the translation process, which employ 2 engines, the UNL encoder, ENCO, and the UNL decoder, DECO. The first step consists of encoding the contents of an original document into the UNL language. This is done by ENCO, which works in conjunction with a dictionary. rules of grammar, and the system's own knowledge base. This produces a UNL version of the original document.